Have you ever struggled with your weight? Do you seem to put on weight more easily than people you know? Have you tried time and again to diet but always failed? I've been a GP for 18 years and there's no doubt that some people do seem to put on weight more easily than others and find it harder to lose. Latest scientific research says that some of us really are more likely to get fat than others. Not because of laziness or greed, but because of our genes. I'm going to test the genes of one fat family to reveal their fat family tree.
I find it quite embarrassing to go out all together as a family because I think people are sort of like, oh God, look at them, and you know, here come the pigs.
I really worry about the children. Chloe's already experienced where she's been called fatty and she was really upset.
I'm going to create a science-based diet to help them beat their genes.
I've tried the GI diet, I've tried the gym, I've tried medication.
These health issues are going through the family, so I will be at high risk and my girls will be at high risk.
I don't want to die.
I'll be showing them how to lose weight and keep it off for the first time.
Result.
That's the fat from the food that you ate yesterday.
It's amazing.
Oh my God.
Oh wow, look at you three. Tina and Lisa McConnon from Stevenage have spent their lives battling with their weight. Like lots of us, they believe that their family history of obesity could be in their genes.
I do actually see a theme going through the family.
I've already started.
Even my grandmother, she was overweight. My mum was overweight. My brother was overweight. My children are overweight. And now the grandchildren, unfortunately, are on the plump side.
It's got to be some part to do with the genes, the same way as dimples have come through the family.
I've invited them to meet me to find out once and for all. Hello, Tina, Lisa, Karen, welcome. To begin with, I want to find out exactly what's going on with this family, starting with their family tree. 59-year-old Tina McConnon has struggled with her weight for most of her adult life. Her two daughters, Lisa and Karen, started gaining weight in their teens. Younger daughter, 37-year-old Karen, is a child support worker. She's a size 26 and weighs 20 stone, 13 pounds.
Things have been said while I've been an adult, sort of comments like wide load, and I've had people commenting about, oh, here comes Karen, hide the food, that kind of comments. And I've actually been invited to barbecues and I'm the only one who's not eating because I won't eat in front of them because they made me feel so uncomfortable.
What concerns Karen most is that she's passing down these weight issues to her two young kids.
I really worry about the children. Chloe's already experienced where she's been called fatty and she was really upset. And I know Liam already is conscious of his body. I worry about them being bullied, so I worry also for their health. I don't want them to continue being overweight and end up being fat like me.
The elder daughter is 39-year-old hat designer Lisa.
Morning. Have breakfast? No.
I've tried Slimming World, I've tried Weight Watchers, I've tried the GI diet, I've tried the gym, I've tried medication, diet tablets.
Despite dieting, Lisa is the biggest of them all at size 28, weighing 22 stone and 4 pounds.
Orca, they used to call me Orca, the whale, or Fatty. I actually find it quite embarrassing to go out all together as a family because I think, you know, people are sort of like, oh God, look at them, and, you know, here come the pigs.
Lisa would love to have a baby, but has recently been turned down for fertility treatment to help her to get pregnant.
Ethically, they don't feel it's right because of my weight. They feel that it could affect me and it could affect a child. Unless I lose weight, basically the door's shut, really. That's it.
Their mother Tina is a size 26 and 15 stone, 10 pounds. Tina can't understand why she's unable to lose weight.
Whatever I seem to do doesn't help me to lose any weight.
I mean, as a nurse, I know what I should and shouldn't be eating.
I do think it is a problem with genes.
Weight isn't all the McConnell family have to worry about. Tina lost both her brother and her mum to weight-related health problems.
My mum actually became ill when she got to about the age of 52. I think a lot of it probably was related to her being overweight. My brother also, he was quite large.
His diabetes caused him a lot of problems with amputations, and his last amputation where they were going to have to take his leg off, and unfortunately he rested on the operating table and died. These health issues are going through the family, so I will be at high risk and my girls will be at high risk. I do think that maybe I might not see an old age. I don't want to die. I'm not ready yet. Got a few more years, hopefully.
Dieting simply hasn't worked for this family, but the McConnells' health is in serious jeopardy because of their weight. So to create a diet that's going to really work for them, I want to test the McConnells' genes to find out exactly what role they play in their fat family tree. And to do that, I've recruited one of the world's leading experts in how your genes can influence your weight. Dr. Giles Yeo is based at Cambridge University, researching the role our genes play in making us fat.
I think it's a fact of life that for some people, because of their genes, it is just far, far harder for them to lose weight than others.
Scientists have identified hundreds of genes that, if you have them, make you more likely to get fat. Each gene has a small effect, but the more you have, the more at risk you are. People who inherit lots of high-risk genes and eat the kind of diet most of us do today are going to struggle more with their weight.
As with a person who's obese, the person who's obese not because the person is lazy, but it's because it's more difficult for them to lose weight than for someone else.
This groundbreaking science has never been used to help a family with a shared history of weight problems until now. To discover what fat risk genes this family shares, all they need to do is to spit into a sample tube so that we can get their DNA. We're looking for a group of genes that affect how well your brain detects signals from your stomach that tell you when you're full. We're testing for genes that scientists say affect the kind of tastes you like or dislike, giving some of us a preference for fatty food. Genes that shape how much pleasure you get from eating. Genes that affect where you store your fat, around your stomach or around your bum. And we're looking for a group of genes that the latest research says encourage overeating and raise your risk of ending up fat. The results of our unique gene test are in. It's time to reveal all to the McConnells. I know you've put up with an awful lot of worry and unhappiness, actually, because of your weight. And you've always thought there was something about you that made it harder for you to manage your weight. Well, all our test results agree. The genes you were born with really could have made it harder for you to be slim. Knowing all this, what's going through your head right now?
I am actually quite surprised. So, it's quite shocking.
How can I lose weight then? That's all it is to me.
It's going to be tough, and it's going to be tougher for you than for somebody with a different genetic burden, but it's not impossible. First, we need to get to grips with exactly which fat genes the family share. For every fat risk gene you inherit, one copy comes from your mum and one from your dad. If you inherit one copy, that gives you a slight risk. We're marking that yellow. But if you inherit two copies, that gives you a bigger risk. We're marking that orange. It isn't that one of these genes is going to make you fat, but the more of them you have, the greater the risk you run. So, the more yellow and orange we see, the more gene types linked to weight gain you have. First thing we need to talk about are their hunger genes. They've all inherited genes that affect how hungry they feel, which can lead to overeating or excessive snacking. The whole family have some of these, but Lisa, who doctors say is too fat for fertility treatment, has the most to worry about.
After I've eaten a meal, I feel full, but very shortly after, I actually feel hungry. I'm not sure if it's because I don't eat enough at that sit-in because I don't have large portions.
We also found that Lisa has other genes linked to eating more than you need. Here, you did inherit some risky gene types from your mum, but also another 2 that have come from your dad. And these have been linked to a risk of overeating, possibly because you actually find food less rewarding, and so you need more of it to get that same feeling of satisfaction. Controlling the urge to overeat could be even harder for Lisa than the rest of the family. Next, I want to look at the family's genes, which control how effectively they taste. Certain genes can lead to making unhealthy food choices. It's particularly crucial for Tina. How effectively you taste can also affect the good or bad food choices you make and your weight. And here we found a type of gene that's linked with how much you like the taste of fat. The more you prefer the taste of fat, the greater your chance of overindulging in fatty foods. Given Tina's family history, losing her mother and brother to weight-related illnesses, eating too much fat is a really bad idea. And finally, our unique gene test has shown another risk that the women in the family need to be aware of.
I'd never feel nice when I went out because I always carried my weight around my middle more so. I mean, obviously over the years it's sort of spread out.
The McConnans all have genes linked to storing fat around their stomach, which makes them more likely to develop type 2 diabetes and heart problems. Karen has the most out of all of them. When it comes to body shape, you've inherited the gene types that are linked to storing fat around your middle. In fact, you have the most of all 3 of you, and this is a serious worry for your health. So, Karen, just like your mum and Lisa, you too were born with genes that could increase your risk of being fat. But for you, there is something else we have to think about. You are likely to have passed some of these onto your own children, just like your mum did to you. Now, we know that Chloe and Liam are already putting on weight.
I'm just hoping that whatever I'm doing, you know, once I start changing my lifestyle and eating habits and everything, I'm hoping that's going to filter down.
You're absolutely right. There is nothing we can do to change yours or Chloe's or Liam's genes, but you can change their future. Coming up, I unveil the McConnans' gene-busting diet, starting with an extraordinary scientific tip for beating fat.
Oh my God.
Lisa, Tina and Karen McConnan suspected that their family history of weight problems could be in their genes. Our unique test has proved they were right. Nothing can change their genes, but these results will help me to understand what rules I need to give them for their new diet and lifestyles, and that's where the rest of my team comes in. Joining Giles is Sian Porter, a leading dietitian. I asked her to visit the McConnans to find out the truth about what they eat.
We've been looking at diet and lifestyle and their environment. See, these are things that are passed down the family.
I see you've got butter on the side.
Yeah,
as well.
I prefer butter.
And to get them to fill out in-depth food diaries. I also need to get a complete picture of what their weight has done to their health. So I've sent them to Imperial College London to meet top obesity specialists, Dr. Alex Miras.
Quick listen to the heart.
And Dr. Christina
We
Bradshaw,
will measure your total body fat and mass now.
so that they can carry out a series of in-depth tests and investigations. Dr. Jason Gill is an obesity specialist from the University of Glasgow. I asked him to analyse the McConnens' lifestyle and activity levels.
I've looked at how active the family are, how many steps they're taking throughout the day, how much they move, and also how much time they spend sitting down.
Our test has shown that the McConnens share hunger and fat preference genes that could make it harder for them to stay slim or lose weight. Now, with the team's results, we've got the chance to devise a unique diet plan to help them fight back. But the investigations have also shown that the McConnens' weight has put their health in serious jeopardy. So, let's start with you, Tina. We've found that Tina has high cholesterol and high blood pressure, putting her at risk of heart attack and stroke. But that isn't my biggest concern. I know that you've already been told that you are borderline diabetic. Tina, that's not true. You have type 2 diabetes. Now, I know that your brother actually died of the disease.
I need to lose weight to try and change it.
You do, because actually you are only type 2 diabetic because of the weight. Serious stuff. I've given you a real fright, I know I have. This is all reversible. The cholesterol can come down, the blood pressure can come down. The diabetes is reversible. The important thing is that you do something about it, because actually if you don't, this is seriously bad news. As a GP, I'm also concerned about Karen and Lisa's future health. If we don't tackle your weight, it's not a case of if you become diabetic, it's a case of when. In your current condition, girls, both you and Lisa will be taking around 15 years off your life expectancy. You're a mum.
I know. Well, obviously I want to be able to see my children grow up and have children, so I mean it's sort of it is scary.
We're going to use all that science has to offer to help you, and that means starting with your diet. I want to take everything we've learned about the McConnens' fat family tree to help create bespoke, science-based diet plans for each of them. First, I've laid out the kind of foods Tina, Lisa and Karen say that they eat over the course of a week. The first problem is clear. There is absolutely no question this is too much food. You are all overeating. And because you've been dealt a rotten deal with your genes, that's a really bad move. Our tests show that the McConnens feel more hungry and eat more than many of us. Simply telling them to eat less isn't going to help them lose weight.
So come with me over here.
I've split their diet into categories that reveal exactly where they're going wrong. First on my hit list are carbs.
Here we have a great swathe of carbohydrate. And much of it is refined carbohydrate. Now, what we know from your genetic tests is that you could be predisposed to feeling more hunger than other people. Okay? And the kind of carbohydrate that you're eating doesn't give you that longer-term feeling of satisfaction and fullness. And for you, actually, that's not good news.
Later on, I'll be showing them some exciting new smart carb science that'll help keep anyone's hunger in check. Next on my hit list is what they drink. The McConnens have been filling up on sugary drinks, not realising that they're doing nothing for their hunger pangs.
So you have a taste for all these quite high sugar drinks, and actually given your genetic burden, it's more important for you that you give these up than it could be for anybody else. Okay?
Thank you.
I'm going to prove that drinking without thinking is a dieting disaster and needs to stop right now. Last on my hit list is fat. The family's genes influence their taste for it, and they certainly eat too much, particularly Tina.
Tina, sorry to tell you this, but I think most of that is you.
Probably half.
I'll be showing them a remarkable scientific trick to help them become better at dealing with fat.
If we're going to make a difference to you, you're going to have to be prepared to make some really big changes. So I'm going to offer you all the best that science has to help you lose those pounds, beat hunger and combat fat.
Brilliant.
Are we in?
Yes, definitely. I feel the information I've got today it's going to sort of hopefully be a motivating factor really to sort of go forward with my sort of complete change of lifestyle.
There is hope left. I do feel, I've been sort of told where I'm going wrong.
I think it's going to be very hard to actually go through this, but I'm adamant that we're going to do it because we need to.
The McConnells' new diet is going to be a massive change. So rather than just telling them what to do, I want to show them that the science behind their gene-busting diet really works. And to do that, I've asked them to take part in some fascinating experiments. The McConnells have a genetic bias towards loving the taste of fat. If you're a fat fancier, it's not just butter that you should consider cutting back on. Granola-style cereals can be part of a nutritious breakfast, but watch out. A third of the calories in this bowl come from fat, the equivalent of a tablespoon of butter. Salads should be part of a healthy diet, but you really ought to cut out the coleslaw. In a serving like this, there's a whopping 3 tablespoons worth of butter. Nuts are a great snack if you stick to a serving that covers the palm of your hand. But if you munch your way through a standard sized pack, it's like slurping down 5 tablespoons of butter. Rule number 1, look out for hidden fat. To tackle the McConnells' preference for fat head-on, Dr. Jason Gill has an incredible scientific secret, and it involves our canine companions. Even more surprisingly, it begins with an extremely high-fat lunch.
Ladies, you're probably wondering why I've invited you here. Well, I'm here to buy you lunch.
It's day 1 of Jason's fat-busting experiment. He's cunningly crafted the menu so that he knows exactly how much fat they eat.
The only requirement is that you eat everything in front of you. I need you to clean your plates.
Tina and Karen are going to eat exactly 100 grams of fat, packed into a cheesy jacket potato and an ice cream dessert. What Jason wants to know now is how much of the fat they've eaten has ended up in their blood. It's now day 2 of Jason's fat-busting experiment, and he's arranged an early morning rendezvous.
Morning, ladies. All will become clear about why we're here and exactly what we're doing. But before we start, I'd just like to introduce you to our helpers for today. So if you'd like to turn around.
Oh my God. I'm going to go for a dog walk.
Jason has assembled a pack of London's keenest walkers to assist him.
Ladies, gentlemen and dogs, we're going to go for a walk. But before we go, we want you to be properly dressed, and you're missing something. I think you've got a couple of dogs.
I have. I've got Queenie
Queenie,
here.
okay.
And I've got Daisy.
Daisy, okay. So we'll go on the count of 3. We're going to go in that direction. So 1, 2, 3. Let's go, let's walk.
After walkies in the park, it's time for Tina and Karen to have a spot of lunch.
So does this place look familiar?
Yes.
This is the next part of our experiment. Yesterday you came in and we gave you a meal and we took some blood samples afterwards. Today we're going to do exactly the same thing. Okay, so here's your... So again, like yesterday, we need you to eat everything that's on your plate.
Just like yesterday, Jason wants to know how much of the fat they've eaten has made it into their blood. The only difference is that today, Tina and Karen have had a walk before lunch. A few hours later, and the results are in.
Okay, ladies, do you want to come in and I'll show you what we found? So I don't know whether you can see this, but this is Tina's blood from yesterday after she ate the meal. What we've done is we've spun it in a centrifuge, which causes the red blood cells to go down to the bottom, and the top is the watery part of your blood, or the plasma. Right, and as you see, when you're looking at it, it's quite cloudy. It doesn't look clear. And the reason it's cloudy is because it's got fat in it. That's the fat from the food that you ate yesterday. And this fat is really bad stuff. It coats the walls of the blood vessels and leaves fatty deposits, which over time is what causes heart disease. So that's really bad news. And the really, really good news is, this is your blood sample from today. If you remember, you ate exactly the same meal yesterday and today, but we can see here that your plasma is clear. And the only difference between the two is that before the meal today, you went for a walk.
It's amazing.
I think it is. Yeah. As soon as you go for a walk, your body is better able to handle the fat that you eat. This is one way that walking helps you fight fat.
A simple 90-minute walk has cut the amount of fat in Tina's blood, seen here, by 38%. Jason wants them to build up to 10,000 steps a day, using a pedometer to count them. Walking this much will keep the fat levels in their blood down, plus has the bonus effect of burning 440 calories. Rule number 2, if you're a fatty food fancier, getting moving is a fantastic way of fighting the fat and losing weight.
Get up during TV adverts and walk up and down the stairs. Walk around the block for 2 minutes when you get a wee break at work. I want every single opportunity for you to stand up more and take more steps.
I do feel more motivated actually, because obviously now seeing that, it does sort of give you an extra incentive.
Definitely walking. More walking.
Coming up, intriguing new science on how to beat hunger and stay fuller for longer.
Dare I ask, how's the fermentation?
My fermentation is doing very well.
Our unique gene test has revealed that it really could be harder for the McConnell family to lose weight. We've helped them fight back against their taste for fatty food. Now we want to help them beat their hunger.
The science behind feeling hungry is actually quite complicated. As food travels from your mouth to your stomach and through your digestive system, it triggers signals telling you you're feeling fuller. But for some people, because of their genes, these signals just don't work so well, and that can lead to overeating. I've just discovered some brand new dieting science that can help.
If you want to lose weight, it's always best to choose foods that'll keep you fuller longer. And surprisingly, that can include carbs.
Carbohydrates may seem like the enemy to most seasoned dieters, but what if eating the right kind of carbs could actually help you lose weight by regulating hunger?
With the help of researchers from Imperial College London, I want to show the McConnells how changing the kind of carbs they eat could be a huge weapon in battling hunger and losing weight.
So I've invited them and some volunteers down to the farm to find out more. Good morning everybody, welcome. What we're going to do now then is divide you into 2 groups and we're going to give you some breakfast. How does that sound? Good.
I've divided my volunteer farmhands into the reds and the blues. I'm feeding the reds a breakfast of refined carbohydrates, like toast and cereal, just the kind of carbs the McConnells usually choose. But I'm feeding the blues a breakfast of porridge and pumpernickel bread. These are unrefined carbs. I want the McConnells to see who's going to get hungry first and understand why.
Okay teams, so that's breakfast done. In a moment I'm going to take you outside and we're going to give you your chores. And if you start to feel hungry at any point, wave your team colours and I'll be checking in on you. Ready for action?
Yes.
Come with me.
After a thorough farmyard safety briefing, the team start working and start scoring how hungry they feel.
There we go.
They're all working up an appetite.
Right, I'm hungry now.
It's almost time for lunch and a well-earned break.
That's me done as well. I'm hungry. I want some lunch.
The hunger scores so far show an incredible difference. The red team, who ate the refined carbs, felt almost 20% more hungry than the blues. Why would eating toast instead of porridge make such a huge difference? I want to show them with a little bit of farmyard creativity.
Don't laugh. This is your innards.
When we eat, signals fire off from our stomach and our small intestine to our brains to tell us we're full.
Now, red group, you had a breakfast which was full of refined carbohydrates. And what happens is they leave the stomach fairly quickly, and that's why you start to feel peckish more quickly. Blue group, on the other hand, you had unrefined carbohydrates. Not only do they stay in the stomach for longer, they also take longer to be digested and absorbed in the small intestine. So you're getting more messages to your brain saying, it's okay, I'm still full, I don't need any more food.
I want to show the teams exactly what foods I'm talking about.
Here we have our refined carbs, okay? And you can see we've got white bread, white pasta, we've got cake, we've got crisps.
All unrefined carbs, like wholemeal bread or pasta, help trigger those fuller for longer signals. But I've chosen a special selection: oats, chicory, leeks, pulses and beans, because they do something extra to help fight hunger. All of these keep on being digested right into your bowel, where bacteria go to work.
This is the really interesting bit. We all have around 4 pounds or 2 kilos of bacteria living in our large bowel. And those bacteria like to feed on undigested food. And the process that's going on here is a process of fermentation.
We're all familiar with one byproduct of this process: gas. But scientists now believe that fermentation also has a surprising effect on our brains and how hungry we feel. As the blue team's bacteria break down those carbs, more messages should fire off to their brains to keep their hunger at bay.
So that process is what is triggering those fuller for longer messages. And I'm going to prove that to you. Let's go.
First, it's time for lunch. Everyone gets a jacket potato, but the blues' baked bean topping should keep them fermenting away for the rest of the day. To prove that it's the fermenting carbs that are helping the blues beat hunger, we're testing everyone's breath for hydrogen. The more hydrogen we find, the more fermentation is going on.
Dare I ask, how's the fermentation?
The fermentation is doing very well. Fermenting process has started.
Yes, we are winning.
The farm work is finished, and now it's time for the results. Their breath tests show that the blues were experiencing 3 times more fermentation than the reds, but it's their hunger scores that are truly amazing. Over the course of the day, the blues were a staggering 25% less hungry than the reds.
Just looking at these results, if you change from refined carbs to fermentable carbs, then you're going to feel much more full for longer each day, and you'll be much less likely to snack.
The right kind of carbs sent more signals to the blues' brains to tell them they were full. Rule number 3, if you're someone that struggles with hunger pangs or you just can't resist snacking between meals, going for carbs that keep you feeling fuller for longer could really help. At breakfast time, try swapping your cornflakes for porridge oats. Ditch the white bread for loaves that look darker, wholemeal, rye, or best of all, pumpernickel. And if you go for salad at lunchtime, cut down on the iceberg lettuce, swap it for corn, chicory, or artichoke. When it comes to hunger, taking in calories that do nothing to fill you up can be a dieting disaster. But that's exactly what the McConnans and almost all of us do every day. Jason, Gill and I have set up an early morning breakfast with a twist. We've invited Tina, Lisa, Karen and Chloe and a few other guests to join us in East London for an intriguing experiment.
Nice to meet you. Hi. Come and take a seat over here.
And the first thing we do is tell them a little thing.
What we're going to do today is we're going to be looking at how your taste is affected by what you eat.
But what we really want to know is, does drinking your calories instead of eating them affect how hungry you feel and how much you eat? We'll be serving the ladies after 2-course breakfast, which Jason has meticulously measured out, so that we'll be able to tell which group eats the most. We want to know how hungry they feel, so we're getting them to fill out a simple questionnaire over the course of their breakfast. Half of the ladies, including Lisa and Karen's daughter Chloe, are going to start with a fruit salad of apple, orange and mango.
Enjoy your starter. There are no nasty tricks in here, okay? It's just fruit. But please make sure you eat every piece of the fruit.
The other half, including Tina and Karen, are going to start with an apple, orange and mango fresh fruit drink.
So all we need is to make sure you drink all of it. When you've finished, we'll get you to complete the questionnaire again.
Once they've had their starters, all the ladies have a 20-minute pause to work up an appetite for their meal.
So you need to go on this side.
Don't look so worried. OK, ladies, enjoy. As much as you like, just help yourselves to what you fancy.
We've laid both tables with exactly the same amounts of toast, butter, jam, cereals and milk. The ladies just need to help themselves and eat until they're full, keeping a record of how hungry they feel.
Would you like to eat something savoury now? Potato, bread.
Jason's got to calculate how hungry they all said they were and work out exactly how much they all ate.
900 mils. 2114.
Coming up, the shocking truth about the dangers of calories in drinks.
Actually double the calories in one meal.
And will the McConnells succeed in transforming their fat family tree?
Oh, wow. Look at you three.
Our gene test has revealed the McConnell family all have a genetic bias towards feeling hungry. Cutting out calories and keeping on top of hunger is vital for successful dieting. And I'm going to show the McConnells one surefire way to do it. Half of these ladies had a fruit juice starter, the other half had a fruit salad starter. But who went on to eat more breakfast? It's time for the results.
So, ladies, did you enjoy your breakfast? Yes. Right, confession time on my part, because we haven't been testing your taste at all. What we've been looking at is the way that we handle liquid calories. We secretly behind the scenes were measuring everything that you ate and monitoring your hunger scores. And what you don't know is that you didn't have quite the same breakfast, because you had a fruit salad, you had a glass of fruit juice. Interestingly, you all had exactly the same number of calories.
Both the fruit juice and the fruit salad contained 132 calories.
You all scored very similarly in terms of hunger, and you finished your breakfast feeling about as full as each other. What happened in between was really interesting. The juice drinkers actually consumed 315 calories per person more than the fruit eaters. That's actually double the calories in one meal. Now, you think that sounds impressive. Mm-hmm. You do that every day for a month, and that would equate to 2.5 pounds of fat.
So drinks have calories in it, and these calories make you fat in exactly the same way as calories from solid food, but they're sort of invisible to the body. Your brain doesn't detect them so much. So when you drink calories in the form of liquid, you don't feel full.
When you eat, food stretches your stomach, sending a signal to your brain that switches off hunger. But drinks don't trigger the fullness signals. So even if you've drunk something packed with as many calories as a meal, it won't stop you feeling hungry.
Particularly looking at the McConnells and knowing about your genetic predisposition to gain weight. If you are drinking quite a lot of sweet drinks, you actually are doubling your risk of being obese.
And so you're much better off eating your calories rather than drinking them, eating your fruit rather than drinking it.
Who's going to eat more fruit? Me. Even Chloe.
home how much of a dieting disaster liquid calories are, I've got some astonishing comparisons. Karen drinks sweetened cranberry juice that she believes is better at keeping the weight off than cola.
That actually would equate to around 230 calories. This is the bit that's going to shock you, because that is also 230 calories. Deep fried battered sausage, yeah. If you had that, you'd feel that was a bit of a guilty pleasure, wouldn't you?
Yes, definitely.
How about 2 large lattes with full fat milk?
That is a cheeseburger with half a portion of fries.
Wow. You wouldn't think that.
You really wouldn't think that, would you?
Finally, a large glass of white wine
Is equivalent to a chocolate eclair.
Wow.
Does that surprise you?
It does. Yeah, because you think that's fruit.
So it's easy to see how you can really rack those calories up if you're not careful about what you're drinking.
So for rule number 4 on the McConnell's hunger-busting diet, cut out the liquid calories because they do not fill you up. Four months ago, I told Tina, Lisa and Karen that as they'd suspected, they all had genes that could be making it harder for them to lose weight. My team of experts and I devised a diet to help them beat their genes and lose weight. I showed them the scientific secrets of successful dieting, using smart carbs and dodging liquid calories to combat hunger, and getting moving to fight back against fat. Today, I've asked them back to find out exactly how they got on. I really hope the diet we created for the McConnells will have worked, but I'm not going to know for certain until they walk through that door.
Oh, wow. Look at you three. You're like new women. You look fantastic. I saw you, 3 or 4 months ago, and you had tried all sorts of different diets and nothing had worked. Clearly, this is working, and I guess now it's time to find out just how much you've lost. Ready?
Yeah.
Come with me. Okay, are we ready for this? When I first met you, you weighed in at 22 stone 4 pounds. Today, you are 20 stone 11 pounds. You've lost 1.5 stone. You've dropped 2 dress sizes since I last saw you.
Lisa has lost 20 pounds and 13 centimetres from her waist.
Tina, so we first met when you were 15 stone 10 pounds. Today, you're 14 stone 1 pound, and you've lost 1 stone and 9 pounds, and you've dropped 3 dress sizes.
I can feel it.
Can you?
Yeah.
I mean, that is fantastic.
Tina has lost 23 pounds and 14 centimetres from her waist.
Karen, you weighed in at 20 stone 13 pounds, and you now weigh 18 stone. That means that you've lost 2 stone and 13 pounds.
Brilliant. That's nearly 3.
That is nearly 3 stone. You've dropped 3 dress sizes.
Yeah, I noticed. My clothes are all a bit big.
In just 4 months, Karen has lost an incredible 41 pounds and 20 centimetres from her waist.
So, McConnell ladies, you have lost over 6 stone between you since I first met you. That's an incredible achievement. You must be so proud of yourselves.
I think it's amazing, actually.
All 3 of you look much better for it, but do you feel better for it?
Yeah, I don't get out of breath walking up the road. And when I get down to do my shoes up or tie laces or anything, it's good. I'm looking forward to getting down a little bit more and go shopping.
Clearly they've lost weight, but what about their health? For Lisa and Karen, it's good news. They're no longer on the road to diabetes.
How good is that, hey?
It's good to know that hopefully I'll be in this world a bit longer.
Yeah, you will be. You will
my
be.
kids grow up. Yeah, that did sort of really scare me, thinking if I carried on how I was going to die young.
Your weight did mean that you were taking years off your life. And Tina, it's paid off for you. You lost 14 centimetres from your waist. Your cholesterol's better. Your blood pressure is now normal.
Really?
But
Yeah.
when we first met, I had to give you a diagnosis of diabetes. Yeah. And I know that was tough. You lost your brother to the disease. You are no longer diabetic.
Brilliant.
Good.
How incredible is that?
That's good.
Yeah. And you've done that through sheer hard work. Well done, you. It's not a cure, okay?
No.
You put the weight back on, Tina, and you're right back in that diabetic category. But if that isn't the incentive you need to stick with this, I don't know what is. That's just amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
Tina's progress so far is better than I could have hoped. For the McConnans, the future is looking very different indeed.
I'm so excited about the results we've achieved with this one family, and I really believe by bringing together everything science can offer, we can help everyone to get back in control of their weight, even families whose genes are working against them.
I think we probably have broken the cycle because we now have a lot more knowledge.
Yeah, definitely it's an improvement.
My children will learn from what I'm doing and hopefully they won't be obese adults. Positive future for us, I think.
Come and see me in a year's time. I'll be in a nice size 14, maybe even a 12.